Hey, hey, hey. Alright, everybody. I am so sorry about this. Things are getting crazy in here. Kind of had to run on a different channel, do a couple different things. Okay, let's see. Alright, come on, baby. Come on. Do. Alright, come on. Where are we? Sorry about this, guys. Yeah, let me put up the technical difficulty. All right, everybody. Whew. Whew, 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 whew. Getting our asses kicked tonight. Oh man, I was hoping to get actually stuff done. For those of you who are just joining, I tried to stream for the past half hour or so, and it got lost to the nether realm. I don't know where it went, or what it was doing, or there were probably people there, and probably nobody will show up at this point because they're looking at me like, what the hell, this doesn't exist. But hopefully you'll see it after the fact or something. I just need to make sure my sound works. Perfect, it worked. With that, let's kind of dive back into what we're doing so that way you kind of know context, what's going on, and everything else. So I added a couple things to this list. First thing, I forgot a wildcard, version control system. Long story short, it allows you to, instead of just bulk updating your game, you take just the files that you've created. So like, let's say you add a map to your game, you can just take that map file, put it onto, it'll automatically check, update the file, or you can say, you know, update my game, it downloads the file, it updates, it restarts the game. Pretty simple. That part's simple. The download and update is simple. The hard part is actually version controlling, where it's like a list of every file change that has ever been made. I have a mocked system of how to do that, but it's not ready for mass production or for the public. It is very, very, I wouldn't say crude. It's very not user-friendly, but it works. It is there. Once again, in the future. Wouldn't work for Android and iOS, plus it would go against their terms of service, but for Mac, PC, etc., it'll work just fine. The second thing that I added on here was save token information to local storage for auto login. So long story short, without getting too complicated, when you log in, you get a token. And instead of logging in every single time you start up the app, what we instead would do is take that token and put it on your local storage or your cache or whatever you want to call it, and it would save your information for the next 2 weeks or month or whatever you want to set your token to expire to. And I set my token to expire here in minutes, 60 minutes, 24 hours, 14 days. So this would be 2 weeks, because I think originally it was like 5 minutes for some weird reason. But we'll set the token to expire a lot longer than that when I update the defaults. Okay. I was also going through issues. The only issue that came in was this one, social login like Google and Facebook. This is related to OAuth 2 and using passport authentication differently. Right now we use passport authentication through Passport Local Mongoose. So there's different strategies to use Passport. One of them is Google, Facebook, Twitter. I mean, you can use all different things. We just need a way to match up username with, Facebook token or Google token or something like that. There's a ton of examples out there. So I think this is something that we could not only easily do, but I think it could be really, really beneficial for a lot of reasons. It just makes a lot of sense in general. So I'm going to put this as a high priority item. Okay, so OAuth here with Passport. OAuth with Passport. And then I'll just put Google, Facebook, etc. Fabulous idea. And we will give this a label. Maybe we'll even look into this a little bit tonight. This is something I haven't checked in a while. Yeah, maybe we'll look into this a little bit tonight. See what it'll take to do this. Because I don't know off the top of my head. This is something we're gonna have to research a little bit. So I guess we can research together. You know, you want to see my rusty Google skills? Sure. All right, let's make sure my stream is still going. I'm not dying. It's live. It's not dead. A good sign. All right, all right. Better. Better. Sorry about that, all that we're actually watching live. I feel so terrible, because that was horrible. All right. Sorry, I was just complaining on my Discord that so much was not working tonight, but it's okay. We're here. Oh my god. All right. We lost a little bit of time. All right. So, OAuth, passport, Google, Facebook, etc. Okay. Putting it on the list. Cool. All right. So that's it for issues. So now the bigger question, what should we work on tonight? Well, let's go through some of the stuff that I have on my list to upgrade. I haven't really actually made a list, but I should make a list. I should make an actual list. All right, so package.json, local, mongoose, redis, socket.io. Socket.io is up to date. SwearJar and Tracer, I'm not going to update. SwearJar is, I'm just looking through packages that we can upgrade for the upcoming release. Because I do want to do like a major update and a refresh and try to get this a little bit more succinct for production. So SwearJar is specifically for it's a swearing application, so it takes so this was for chat to take bad words and put like asterisks or something in place of bad words. So I'm going to keep that the way that is. Socket.io is upgraded. Redis, I actually need to implement. So I haven't talked about this much, but Redis is going to be used for... Redis is used for... especially with Socket.io, is used as a storage container, if you will, for when we start doing clustering. So it's important for clustering because, I mean, Socket.io does a better job of explaining this, but essentially clustering is taking multiple servers. It could be on the same server where you're clustering it in different processors or processing cores, because Node is a single core processing thread. Okay, so it only uses one core of your processor. So if you have a quad core processor or a quad core server, it needs 4 separate processes. Okay, the problem is that each process has its own Socket.io. It has its own rooms, it has its own everything. So what you need is kind of like the glue where it all talks to each other. And in order to do that, you need to use something like Redis, which is a they call it a store. Think of it like a really local bucket. Think of it like this, they're all using the same bin. Okay, so they all connect to Redis. And it kind of, so think of Redis right in the middle, and all 4 cores are kind of locked into that Redis. So when they create a room, when you create a room, instead of just making it on that core, it makes it in the Redis store and pushes it out to all the different cores that are running the Socket.io server. Once again, that's just on one 4-core server. This principle can also be applied for a server that's in the US versus a server that's in England versus a server that's in China. Can all be connected to the same Redis store and be used in that way. So it's a way to make Socket.io capable of scaling. Okay, I know it's a very long-winded answer to a very simple question of what is Redis, but it's extraordinarily important and something we don't currently integrate right now. So Redis is a wholly separate service. It's similar to a database. It's similar to a memcache. It's similar to a lot of things, but it's almost none of those things. It just pretty much lives in memory, and it's really, really fast for very simple. I want to say it does key value pairs. I'd be wrong on that. I don't want to open my mouth on that too much. I believe it's key value pairs. Just really simple string key value pairs, but really low level. You're not going to work with them at all. It's just one of those things where you need to know that it's there, and that's how it's like gluing all the Socket.io rooms and clients together. Just doing another check, make sure everything's connected. Anyone hear me out there? I'm gonna assume you guys can hear me. And I'm gonna assume you guys can hear me. Cool. All right. All right. Let's continue. I try to do a few things at once. What am I doing here? It's so easy to lose my place. We're talking about Redis. So essentially that's what Redis is. It's kind of like a memcache, and we are specifically using it for Socket.io and integration for multiple servers. There's a nice little Socket.io uses an adapter for their rooms, and then those rooms use Redis. Okay. Next on the list, Tracer. I forget what you do. We're gonna look you up in a minute. I'm not entirely sure what Tracer does. We'll look into that in a second. Node Mailer I touched on last week. It is our mailing system. So you use it to send out emails when you want people to register or do like a password reset or something like that. You send them a mail with Node Mailer, and you have to set up everything, which I've gone over in other videos, which I will link below. Morgan is a logging tool. So when you see the cool, actually, I'm wondering if no, I don't want it on project 6. What do I want? I want MV Online. I want to go into my server. And I want to do nodemon server.js. Okay. It's this stuff. So it's where this nice, cool info is coming on. It just takes, Morgan takes your basic console logs and makes them look legible and readable, especially when you're looking at a ton of system logs. Looking at them in all white, like black and white, is really rough on the eyes, and just seeing what's going on and what's happening. You know, if you can have log errors, log warns, everything, it's all in different colors. It looks nice. You can see things clearly. It's really nice to see. So that's what Morgan is for. Mongoose is our database connection to MongoDB. And Mongoose has a ton of built-in functionality for all sorts of MongoDB's things that we haven't even come close to touching. We use it very sparingly for very few things, but there is a whole bunch of things you can do with MongoDB, especially if you have a lot of data. So you can do things like aggregation, where you can take you know, fields and whittle them down to what exactly you need for that particular time. I wish I could give you better examples, but when we have more tables and we're trying to do more complex things, we can dive into more complex things with Mongoose. Json Web Token is, I should probably update this and see what the latest version of Json Web Token is. Json Web Token is just the token that we generate when you log in. It is what I use to authenticate both the API and the socket modules. So this is kind of like the glue between the API and the socket modules. Express, our routing system for APIs. Connect Redis, which is our actual connection to the Redis server, which once again, I haven't actually set up yet. I haven't shown anything about it yet, but it connects us to Redis, and then we need Redis to actually instantiate. And Body Parser is a... it's a very generic Node.js plugin for HTML. HTML request body parsing. So that way when you send up like HTML, send up form data, it knows exactly how to read it, and you can read it in similar like object form. So it just parses the body. You don't really need to worry about that one too much. I'll just make sure that's up to date. And yeah, I think this is what we can do really quick right now. Let's find out the newest versions of all this, and let's make sure it all still runs correctly, because this is part of maintaining the project. So let's do it really quick. Okay, so body parser, Node.js. What version are we on? Body parser. Yeah, 4 million weekly downloads. This thing is a beast of a thing. Okay, what are we on? Version 1.18.3. All right, so we'll update this, no problem. And so this carrot, let's look up this carrot really quick, because I'm pretty sure I know what it means, but all right, compatible with version. Okay. All right, approximate equivalent to version. So there's many different ways that you can do these dependencies, and it's all has to do with what version you're on versus what version is out there versus everything that's going on. So with this carrot, it is compatible with version. Semantic version, what is this? Less than, greater than, equal. Okay. I don't know this off the top of my head, so we're gonna go back. All right, so 1.18.3 is the newest version of body parser. So that's what we will do. So we will save this. We'll just need to run an npm install really quick before we do this. I'm not gonna worry about connect Redis. I'm not gonna worry. Let's see what the latest form of Express is. What are we on? We are on version 4.16. All right, so 4.16.4, beautiful. So it automatically, this is the part of this carrot. It also auto updates. So it's kind of cool in that sense. Mongoose, let's see what version of Mongoose we're on. .4.2. This one we might have to test. Morgan, I'm not going to touch right now because there might be different different configs that we need to do, and since it's just for logging and it's not for functionality, I'm not going to touch it. Node mailer might be another one I might not touch, but for right now, let's just see what it's on. Mailer.js. What are we on? It's Node.js v6. GitHub. GitHub usually has what version we're on. I don't trust any of this. 4.7, 5.0. What are we on? 4.0.1. If I were a version, what version would I be? Releases, we are on version 5.0, and it was released 10 days ago. They release every 3 months or so. I'm gonna stay away from version 5.0. I'm gonna go with 4.7 because 5.0 seems. No, we can try that later. All right, I'll do 4.7. Passport local mongoose. So this one, This is so the two biggest ones that I see that are going to be really an issue is Mongoose, Passport Local Mongoose, because there might be little things that they're expecting that we just don't have. So we're going to find out. Only one way to find out. Passport Local Mongoose. GitHub 6.0. Yeah, hold on. Updating from 1.x to 2.0. No. We did this a while ago. Yeah. I remember this. So I remember doing a video a while ago about SHA1 to SHA256. I forget the exact video. I could probably pull it up, but I had to tell everyone to go over to the new encryption method. It was not fun. Everyone had to blow away their stuff. So making sure everyone can still hear me out there. Awesome. Okay, I see people. People are there. Okay. All right, so SHA256. And this is on version. Let's do a release. 6.0, and it was back in August. So this I will go up to 6.0 and see if it just works. Once again, we know where it originally was. We can always go back. It's not a big deal. Yeah, because this went from 4.0 to... Okay. Yeah. So we can always go back if we need to, if this doesn't work. I'm not going to touch Redis right now. Socket.io I know this is the newest version. So I'm not concerned about that. SwearJar I'm not going to touch. Once again, it's low on the functionality trail, on the functionality level. All right, so from here, I'm going to do an npm install, which will install all these latest. Whoa. Passport Local Mongoose version 6.0.0. Does not like that. Why doesn't it like that? I'm wondering if there's another Passport Local Mongoose. No. Let's do 5.0.1. See how that plays. All right, added 5 packages, removed 19 packages, updated 9 packages. Cool. Only one way to test. See a break. Ooh, baby. Can I find modules Socket.io JWT? What? What? Server.js 13. Do I even have Socket.io JWT anywhere? I don't think I need that. The use Mongo client option is no longer necessary in Mongoose 5.0. Please remove it. Okay. Okay, depreciation warning, current URL string parser is depreciated and will be removed in a future release. To use the new parser, pass option, use URL parser true. To Mongo client.connect. And then depreciation collection.ensure index is depreciated, use create index instead. Okay, so let's start going through this. So this is the problem with updating things in general. You get little things like this that are kind of you know, depreciated, they're old, they could be, you know, they could have vulnerabilities. We want to make sure that this is, I know this is tedious, but we want to make sure it's 100% ready to go. So that way when I release it to everyone, everyone knows it's up to date, it's ready to go, and it's functional. All right, so let's find out where this sucker is. What we got here? Use Mongo client true, no longer necessary. Please remove it. Okay. Let's try to just remove it. Cool. I'm done with that. Success. Very much success. All right. Depreciation warning. Current URL string parser is depreciated and will be removed in future version. To use the new parser, pass option, use URL parser. True. To Mongo client connect. So we put one thing out, we put another thing in. Cool. All right, collection.ensure index. Let's not do collection, could be anything. Let's do ensure. Ooh. Okay, this one. Collection.ensure index. I do not familiar with where ensure index is. That wouldn't work. No. All right, so this is the DB connection. Okay, color console. If I were to guess, I'm gonna do a little digging here, so give me a second. I want to say it's in the login schema. Require this, require that. Create indexes. Local mongoose. Activate. What if we don't need this? Or something like that. Oh yeah. Just so we're all clear on what I did. Okay. Let me save so that you can restart and I get no warnings. So the warning was collection.ensure index is depreciated, use create index instead. This was more on a hunch. So this creates an index, which we're saying unique equals to true. However, MongoDB is smart enough, or at least Mongoose is smart enough to ensure unique ID to everyone. So this is kind of like built into most MongoDB bases. Or I wonder if it's built into MongoDB or if it's built into Mongoose. Probably both, honestly. I don't know. That's a good question. It's a good question for later. I want to look at that because I work with Mongo and I know that I've inserted documents and I haven't put an ID in and it puts an ID in. So I want to say it's built into Mongo. Pretty positive it's built into Mongo. Anyway. All right. So we don't need these anymore. Cool. But we can still, say username, type string, and it's required and that kind of stuff. So cool. Makes it a little easier to look at. Cool. All right, so we got that. So we updated all the package. Let's look at it. Did I make sure Express is up to date? Yeah, I did Express, right? Forget. 4.16. Yeah, all right. Where was I? Yeah, 4.16.4. Okay. Whew. All right. All right. We got rid of all that. Perfect. Get rid of this because we don't need that anymore. Our logger is Morgan. Tracer. Oh, Okay, so that's what this is. Tracer does this color console. Oh. Okay. Okay. So the actual colors are done by Tracer, and then the logging info. So like this, like info versus, yeah. And Morgan's probably tapping into this where it's actually looking at, you know, when you start your server or restarting or that kind of thing. Okay. All right. That's fine. So let's see if Tracer has any updates really quick while we're just going by it. So Tracer and Morgan. Here, now that that went way quicker than I expected. Morgan.js. We are on version 191. So Morgan 191. And Tracer. Logging library for Node.js. Version 098. Let's install. And it looks like it works just fine. Cool. That works. It's nice and easy. Let's see. All right. So now that that worked really well, let's just make sure swear jar is up to date. Uh, 020 020. Cool. Cool. We are all set to go. I wonder how this actually works. Go to GitHub real quick. Oh, you can add things to the profanity list. Well then. Yeah, and it puts it with this. Generates a report card from the given text. Oh, baby. Pretty cool. You can even load more bad words in a JSON object. Cool. Cool. Really cool. That's nice. I remember somebody actually submitted it as a pull request a while ago, and I haven't looked at it in a while, so I just wanted to kind of familiarize myself with it again. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat for, you know, if anyone wants to add chat and they don't want to, you know, sit there and build their own thing. This is a nice little library built in. All right, so we get that. This. All right. Auth. I believe this is the one where the auth.js is already changed with the authenticate socket. Next, null. Did I have to redo this again? That's right, chat. What did I have to do with chat? Yeah, I had to bring in the U's in here, that's right. Alright, so since I have to bring in the U's in there, I could probably take it out of server. I won't need to use this. Keep it on there for right now, but I'm just realizing something. This whole thing that I built in, I want to put into a separate file. So for those of you who don't know what I'm looking at, this enforce one user, I built in onto the main. This was kind of, I don't want to put this. This was a hack that I kind of put in, where you could enforce only one user at a time. I mean, it gets the job done. It allows you to essentially, there's a two-part plugin when you have it on the client side, you can say enforce only one user. So if you try to log in on a browser and then you try to log in over here on another browser, it kicks you both out of the game, essentially. It was the cleanest way that I could figure it out, but I think I'm gonna update that. In fact, I'm actually gonna put this as a moderate priority. Update. What do we want to call this? Enforce one user only. To include enforce one user only. To allow graceful logout. So one of the things that I found that was a problem was it just logs you out of both sides. It doesn't give you any warning, anything like that. I figure we could take a little bit more time and add maybe even add something like like allow you to kick off one or the other in some way, shape, or form. Now the actual events that run that are totally separate, but maybe we could send signals to the server like disconnect player A or disconnect session A or disconnect session B kind of thing. Yeah, and I want to take it off of this main server JS. I want to make it almost like a separate socket module, if you will. So that should be interesting. I want to make sure to do that at some point and give it its own config and stuff like that. Because this is kind of ugly in the main server file. I don't want to keep that there. All right. What time we got? We lost a lot of time. Wow. All right. Let's see what we got on the list. Let's see what we can actually tackle tonight. All right. I think we'll spend a little bit of time with OAuth with Passport. At least just kind of looking into it, seeing what it'll take. I don't think I'm actually gonna get like full-blown started with this tonight. This might be one of those sections where we kind of tackle it, but I don't want to be sitting here on Google the entire time trying to, figure this out. So we're gonna see this really quick. So Passport, Google OAuth. Let's see what we got here. OAuth and OAuth 2. This is a meta module that combines Passport, Google OAuth, and OAuth 2. Exists for back compatibility with that. Making use of combined package as of 1.1. Current declared dependencies on the module. Implement specific version of OAuth needed. I don't like that. I'll explain in a second. Passport use, client ID, client secret, callback URL. Okay, access token, refresh token, profile. Passport authenticate. Google go profile. Example as a starting point. Start the server with those variables, set to the appropriate credentials. This might be something I might do on my own. Yeah, I don't know if you guys want me to fiddle around with this too hard. Google Passport.js. Okay, Google OAuth configuration. Google strategy. Passport use new Google strategy. Within Passport, strategies in Passport require a verify function, which accept credentials, in this case a token seeker, and Google profile. See, the problem with something like this is we would need to be able to handle multiple strategies. So we'd have to be able to handle OAuth and local strategy. So here, let me put Google and local. Yeah, I think I've seen this before. Yeah, Facebook, Twitter, Google, linking all accounts together. So getting started with local authentication. And what? Passport local, passport Google OAuth. All right, so we are going to need to do something like this where we passport local, passport Facebook, Twitter, Google, etc. Rest is the framework. Mongoose is the object modeling for a MongoDB database. So yeah, so this will probably be what we're going to roll through here. Mongoose Connect, we are doing that. App use passport initialize. Passport session. We are not doing this. We are not doing passport session. We're doing we're doing tokens. That shouldn't be the big deal though. We can figure that out. We're gonna comment our passport configuration now. We'll comment it. Database configuration. We're done with that. Routes. All right, so we're gonna get sign up, profile, log out. They're doing index EJS. Yeah, luckily we don't need to do as much front end work because we already have the front end, but we're still gonna have to do something like this. Yeah, so that's the local sign up buttons. And then what we want to do, name, password, login, sign up. Then authentication. So this is authenticating with passport locally. And then here we go. User model. We will create a user model for our tutorial series. So this is kind of like, okay. Define the schema for our model. So local, Facebook, Twitter. I see what we're doing here. It's not a bad way to do it. So, yeah, let me see if I can bring up my MongoDB so I can kind of show you what's going on here. Just give me a second because I don't want to put something up here that I will regret. So, give me a second, guys. Find. Oh, come on. Username. A second, just writing this out before I show you. Oh my goodness. Painful. Very painful. Sorry a second, guys. Okay. Okay, I can show you this. All right, so let me bring this into here. Okay, so this is my current thing on one of my databases. I'm just showing my ID, username, and email and activate it. Okay, so we have something like this where you have an ID, you have a username, you have an email, and you have an activated. There's actually a couple more things like salt and hash, which is your password stuff. But essentially, the salt and the hash and stuff like that can be put into like local. And then we could have like a separate Facebook token and email and name, but the ID could be the same as this ID right here. So we would have one ID for everything, and then we could have like Facebook token here. So that way we know it's authenticated through Facebook, but the Facebook, we know the Facebook token is tied to our local ID here, if that makes sense. So we need to be able to tie the two together if I'm coming through correctly. So it's pretty much going to be the first time that you know, sign up. Whatever you sign up with is whatever you're going to log in with, and it needs to be consistent across the board. Once you sign up with a Google account, you're not going to be able to go to a Facebook account and be able to use your Google account. Although with this method, you probably could. We'd have to take that into consideration. Okay, without getting bogged too much into this, let's keep going with this. So schema, generate hash, which is okay. Yeah. We do a little bit different method. Validate password, compare sync, create the model for users and expose it to our app. It's fine. Handling sign up and registration. Let's sign up first. That's the front end. Called local sign up. That's fine. Testing sign up. That's interesting. Our password, we can uncomment that line. So we'll load our config and then we can use our sign up form. Okay. Login form, pretty simple. User. Inclusion. Interesting. I wonder if they have a they gotta have a GitHub thing to this. Code. There we go. There we go. There was code and there was demo. Oh, even better. And okie dokie. We don't have a demo. Alright, let's just do this in zip format. Alright, I'm gonna do this off screen real quick to kind of get us up and running here. So I'm just opening this up, seeing what's inside, installing everything. Thinking. Still thinking. Give it a sec. What? Failed to connect to your database. Okie dokie. Instructions, clone, install, change the database configuration. Oh. Oh. Hold on a second. Killing me. Killing me, bro. Killing me, bro. All right. Give me a minute, guys. Oh, 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 what? I cannot find. Oh, the magic happens on. Okay, no, okay, it did do it. We're 80/80. Okay. Ah, yes. All right, node authentication, local login. So we are going to test this out. Nelderson gaming at gmail.com. I'm just going to do a bunch of Gmail, and I'm just going to do test as a login. Thinking. Saying that it's posting. Okay. Okay. Well, I put in the credentials for this. So if I search for, here, let's do this. Nope, didn't see it. Go home. Don't think it found it. No. Local login, local sign up. Okay, but where is the... That's the local. But where's the Facebook? Oh, to configure the consumer key and consumer secret needed to access Facebook API. Oh, that's right. You need a developer license with all this silliness. Okay. Okay, I officially cannot do this on stream anymore. Because I need to hook up developer credentials, which I am not going to do on stream. Absolutely not. But I'm gonna mess around with this and get this rocking and rolling, because this would be something really cool. I'm actually looking forward to doing this kind of thing, so I'm gonna put this as the top of my priority list, because I think you know, doing it through Google, doing it through Facebook is just so much easier for people. They don't have to think, they don't have to, you know, remember their credentials. The odds of them losing their password is a lot less, or they can deal with Google if they lose their password. It's a lot easier in a lot of different ways. So I am gonna kill this other server. I'm gonna kill this. I am going to kill this as well. We can come back to Mongo another time. Oh, what time do we got? 9. All right. All right, guys. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back to OAuth in the next stream. I think we're gonna consistently do this on Sunday nights. Okay, a couple hours every Sunday night. Tonight was kind of, it was terrible. I'm not gonna lie, but it was terrible because I had some really bad network issues. I couldn't go as far with this as I wanted to. There's a couple other things that I need to get done before we can continue with the stream. We're actually doing a couple more things. Let me know what else you would like to see changed. I'm going to also look into what needs to be done to release the version 1.0 very soon. I'm hoping within the next couple weeks I can get that up and running, so that way we're not waiting on it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it, ladies and gents. Okay. So for next week, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a detailed schedule. I'm trying to think of the best way to do this. YouTube events completely messed me up tonight. So I would love to say, let's make an event. Let's put what we're going to do in that event. But I do not trust YouTube events because this is the second time in a row it has not worked for me at all. Then again, I am also going through Restream, so I might just ditch Restream and just do everything through YouTube events, and it'll probably run a lot smoother. So I think, you know what? I think I'm going to call that. I think I'm going to do everything through YouTube events. So next week it should be a little bit more smooth. I'm going to put everything in the description. We'll set a time, we'll set a schedule. I will put everything in the comment section on there. You won't see me randomly trying to live stream in the middle of the week for like 2 seconds and then the video disappearing because I was running tests and because my system is being weird. So, you know, I'm sorry I've been wasting a little bit of time, ladies and gents. I totally get that. But let's this one was kind of dry and boring, and let's try to make next week a little bit more interesting and fun. So I'm gonna put a little bit more time into really focusing on things that we can do that make a lot more sense than what I did tonight. So that's all I can promise. With that, if you have any comments or questions, feel free to hit me up in the Discord channel. I will put that in the description on this video because I totally forgot to do it on the last video. I'll also put it there as well. And should be pretty much it. All right. Yeah, with that, later, game makers.